Hey everyone, Gary Carpenter here. Before we jump into today's training, I wanted to introduce someone who is not only a top producing agent in the Boston area, but also someone who's mastering the simple relationship driven habits that create a predictable referral based business. Allison Belli has been using ChatGPT daily to sharpen her message. She's showing up consistently on video to stay connected with her market. She's writing thoughtful, handwritten note cards, and she's hosting meaningful events that keep her sphere close. These aren't flashy tactics, they're the quiet, consistent actions that build trust, deepen relationships, and create a business that grows year after year. Allison is living proof of what happens when you commit to serving your sphere of influence at a high level. And today, she's going to share exactly what's helping her stay top of mind, deepen her relationships, and grow her business with intention. Let's dive right in. Here's Allison.
Great. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm going to share my screen here. So, great, sure. So, I have two parts to this presentation, as you can see from the intro slide. It's client appreciation and also sphere of influence marketing. And in the client appreciation, it's some transactional stuff, and then I've got some events to share. So, that'll come a few slides later. But really, I was asked to put this presentation together maybe a month ago when I did my other webinar, as you referenced, to talk about how I was able to grow my business really kind of fast, one would say. It took, some time for it to take off, but the trajectory that I'm on it's been awesome. It's been a great ride so far, very blessed. But why my business is referral based? It's actually the basics. So I'm a big believer in doing the basics, doing them well, and doing them consistently over time in order to show appreciation and get my messaging across. And I use a lot of systems, which we'll talk about in a couple of slides. So I'm just going to keep hopping along here in case there's a question. Um, so the way I look at client appreciation, it's not just one moment in time. It's not just the events that we'll talk about. It's really starts actually pre-transaction, right? Pre-transaction, during, immediately after closing, and then long after the sale. So as I was thinking about how I want to make my clients feel appreciated, I thought, well, what makes me feel appreciated as a client from my attorney or my CPA, or frankly, even like my landscaper or my painter? And is that they pick up the phone when I call. They answer my calls, they answer my texts, and when I refer them my clients, they take care of them. And that's the culture I really wanted to try to build and create around my sphere and my database is that we know it's a industry of know, like, and trust, and that's really the culture I'm trying to create. I'm just gonna keep going here. So phase one, during the transaction. So this is a little bit pre and then during the transaction. I kind of joke that I'm a soup to nuts kind of girl. I want to know every step of the way what's going to happen in a procedure or a transaction so that I'm comfortable. And that's the experience I try to give to my clients. So I spend a lot of time anticipating questions. Like I said, I answer the phone, I explain every step of the process, and I try to pinpoint all those pain points ahead of time so that there are no surprises. Because that's when our clients get frustrated, right? When there's a surprise or there's a hiccup, something that they didn't anticipate. So the way I do this is I have created some workflows and a lot of templates to try to get ahead of everything. For example, when a client has an inspection coming up, I have the templates pre-written already for either buyer or seller of what to expect. And it's not just a, hey, reminder, your inspection's tomorrow at 9 a.m. It's a full-on email that says, hey, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, just a reminder, this is for a seller, let's say, your inspection is, Friday at 10 a.m. Here's what to expect. Here's how to prepare. Here's who will be there. And here's what we're going to do afterwards. So that really to eliminate those questions ahead of time. And I can pause here. Is there any questions that you might have that I can respond to?
I have a quick question. Like, so in creating those templates, like, did you use, I mean, I have some as well. I'm just curious, like, where are they like an evolving process that you're just adding to as things come up and reframing, or did you start with some sort of a basis? I guess I'm
So
curious.
the way that that really came about for me was last spring. Super blessed, lucky. I had a lot of transactions, but things were starting to fall through the cracks, and I realized I needed a system to put in place so that I could anticipate the questions and give the information. So I turned to ChatGPT really to help me create the workflow. I'm in Massachusetts. We have a two-step offer, purchase and sale process. We have more extreme fair housing laws, things like that that are very state specific. So I dropped the parameters into ChatGPT and asked it to help me create a workflow. And then from that, it's the templates. I created one yesterday. I have a buyer, and this is where the client, like the touch points come in. This is a long transaction. Um, there's no reason really to there's no reason to contact her. We don't have an inspection. We've already got through the purchase agreement, but buyer visits. I want to let her know we can go visit the property. So I created a template yesterday that I can now reuse every time that says, hey, Ms. So and so, now that we're under agreement, we have an opportunity to come in. We have up to 3 visits to look at the property for this, that, or whatever, and then kind of explain the parameters. So, long answer to the short question is I have dozens of templates that sit in a file on my computer that I just pull up when I'm ready to send. So phase 2, immediately after closing and through the first year. So again, a lot of this is, I'm going to start with on the left side here, the resources and reminders. So a lot of these are the automated yet personalized post-closing check-ins. I don't like to auto send. Um, I don't want to miss something in somebody's life that I might need to acknowledge or call out, or don't want to send something at the wrong time. So I have a reminder to send it, and then I'll personalize it. And like we all do, we offer continued access and support, resources, contractors. Um, but this last one here, being on deck when clients need it, sometimes my husband will make fun of me because I might go help out somebody, wait for the HVAC guy or the cable guy. I do a lot of relocation and they might not have moved in yet. So either myself or I hire somebody to either sit at their house, check their mail. It's those extra little touches of being on deck when they need it that make them feel appreciated and that it's not just a transaction. We're there for all of their home services needs. And then after closing, I've heard lots of different people do lots of different things for closing gifts and gestures. I work with a lot of clients that move out of town, so I don't buy a lot of stuff, but I make a point to find a restaurant in their new location, um, something new, something that they might like, and get them a gift card and send it there, so that they, just to acknowledge the transaction and show how much I appreciated them putting their trust in me. And then for the first year, same thing. I have the templates and workflows set up for 1, 3, 6, and 12-month follow-ups. Welcome home, checking in, a mid-year check. And in those, it's not just, hey, I'm checking in. It's, hey, it's been 3 months. I hope you're settling in. Maybe you've realized that there's some home maintenance projects or some updates you're looking to do. If you're looking for a resource or contractor, please don't hesitate to reach out. So it's always offering them something as well to know that it wasn't just transactional, that it's relationships we're building. And then long after the sale, I'm sure a lot of us do these touches, the holiday touches. I actually got the Thanksgiving idea. That was a Jimmy idea. And I love this one. I get so much feedback and interaction. I host Thanksgiving. I've got like 30 people who come to my house. And the day before Thanksgiving, kitchen is a disaster. So I take my phone, I take a selfie in the kitchen, and I say, Happy Thanksgiving from my messy kitchen to yours. What are you doing for the holiday? And it gets that conversation going again. And people like that personal touch and they like to see me in my kitchen. Those kinds of posts get the most traction. Um, and I'll say the same for this year's Christmas message too. It wasn't just an auto drip campaign, Merry Christmas. It was my family photo and a very short personalized message. And I got more feedback, more responses from those touches than anything else over the last year. Um, Newsletters. So, there are different schools of thought on how often to send a newsletter. I get a pretty good open rate right now on my monthly newsletter and then a second email. So I'm keeping it at that. But the monthly newsletter it's always got a video in it. I'm always talking, showing my face, some market information, some blog posts. And then the second email is more of a segmented, um, specific to a target audience, whether you're downsizing or a first time home buyer or thinking about an investment property. That's more just information based, to help keep myself top of mind. Note cards. I have a reminder every week to send out half a dozen note cards. I have the list of people and really simple things like thinking of you or, um, I saw something on social media and I want to acknowledge it, or their child just got into a school, something like that, that I just want to write them a note, or if I was in their neighborhood. And then lastly, I'm pretty consistently visible on social media. So either posting my own videos, content, or sharing things that people might have interest in. So this is how people feel connected, even if we haven't spoken in months. And I'll pause here to see if there's anything I can answer or touch upon.
I don't know, maybe it was about your newsletter,
Yeah,
so
sure.
we still does paper mailed newsletters. I don't
Hmm.
know, I wait for emails since we all get so many.
Hmm. So you do paper ones?
Mhm.
That's great. I wish I did. I don't have the bandwidth. I looked into it, but I think paper newsletters are great, especially depending upon who your target audience is. People still like to
Mhm.
open mail that's not bills.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
actually the other thing I was gonna ask was on social media, do you have a business page that you do things on, or do you just kinda combine your personal and business?
So it depends on which platform. Facebook, I have personal and business, and every now and then I'll share some business over to my personal. Instagram, it's a mix. It's mostly business, but absolutely put family stuff in there. And really, that's what people like the most. That's what they like, click, share, and it resonates with them. It shows that we're human. Um, LinkedIn, certainly professional, but yeah, those are the ones I use primarily. Fine. All right, so here's the meat of what we wanted to talk about, right? The events. So I have three main events that I do each year, and they're simple on purpose so that I can do it. They were created with some intent and they are repeatable. So I do have SOPs for these. You're welcome to reach out to me after and I can tell you what I do. But I'm just going to flip to the next one and start up talking about my apple picking party. I was so nervous to host my first event. And in fact, this wasn't my first event. My first event was a cocktail party at our golf club and it fell flat. It was not the right venue for my people. It was not the right way for me to have conversations. So I shifted gears and picked this apple picking party because people will come to the event. We say hello. As you can see in the picture, I'm giving them their wristbands. I'm saying hi. They're getting their cider donut. And then they go off with their family or their friends. They pick their apples. And then at the end, they circle back and we have another quick chit chat. And along the way, I do have a professional photographer, and he's there to take their photo. So there are so many opportunities for touch points in this type of an event. I would say I probably start 2 months out in my newsletter with a save the date. So a quick video. Hey, save the date. This year's party or event is going to be on October, whatever. More information to follow. So it's in the first email. Then it'll be an evite that goes out, um, follow-up emails, follow-up texts. So ahead of this event, I've probably touched people 4 or 5 times. Then we have the event, and then for all the people who couldn't come, there's still a follow-up afterwards in newsletters and emails, for the people who were there. "Hey, thanks so much. It was so great to see you. Here's your photo. Look forward to seeing you next year." And for those who weren't able to attend, that email has like a video montage of the whole day. Um, and then it's a hope to see you next year kind of thing. This is a new event for me this year. I'm super excited about it.
Hey,
Um,
Alice,
yes.
real quick, I shied away from the comments, and Dale
Yes.
ask, what app or service do you use for your newsletter? Do you write it yourself or do you have somebody do it for you?
So I write it myself and I send it out through my company's CRM. We have the ability to do that. So we build it out there. I use a lot of ChatGPT to help write certain things. So if you want to send me a message after, I'll send you a sample, but it's always the same format. I have a video at the top. I have my featured listings. The sidebar are 2 blog posts that I've chosen on purpose, and, as I know I'm repeating to you guys, but I really spend a lot of time, aside from the corporate location, a lot of downsizers. That's my niche here. So I'm often putting something of value there, like, you know, "Lived in my home for 40 years, what do I do now?" Question mark, and then that's the blog post. A social media piece, like a screenshot of whatever my top social media was, and then at the bottom, it's a client success story.
So
So
when you create that, it sounds to me like basically it's a template
mhm,
that you created for yourself,
yes.
and then you've got to create the content that goes in there.
Mhm.
I'm going to tell you, gang, this is where most real estate agents, and I'm going to tell you 99% of them, this is the reason why they don't do it, is because you've got to come up with the content. If you're not good at that, again, you're going to search a lot. And I'll just tell you my experience with a newsletter of mailing it out because I know Kathy asked about that.
Mhm.
I did it for 10 years and I used the by referral only system. They just created it for me. We kind of customized it a little bit and I sent it out for 10 years. And then I just decided, you know what? I'm going to ask people what they think of our newsletter. And people didn't even know they were getting a newsletter, okay? And it was on yellow paper, okay? And it was in their mailbox. So at the end of the day, we've shied away from it because it was expensive, time consuming, and it's a drain on your brain if you're not good at content, if you can't create the content. And I want to make sure that you guys are also getting this down that she has said the word video right now 17 times. Okay. So, but it's nicely woven into what she's doing here, but it's in her marketing gang, and there's a reason why it is. Video's so new, isn't it? Isn't video the newest thing? No, it's not. Video's been around forever. Ask Dale. He's been in the business. He doesn't look like it, but he's been in the business for ages, and he's been doing video for forever. So, but anyhow,
Yeah.
keep going, Allison.
Yeah, side note, if you're not shooting video, and it does not have to be, professional at all. I mean, there's so many times I'm just sitting here at my desk using my phone and I'm talking, and, without fail, it's gotten me business. It's gotten me some great business doing the videos, and actually, we're gonna talk about that in a few more slides, but the, garden tour, if you read the slides, it's actually the same as the apple picking. It's the same event, just a different location, and it's in the spring. So this one's new for me this year, and I'm super excited about it. Um, Same idea. I have a table at the entrance. You come in, you see me, you get your wristband, some little freebie, whether it's like a lemonade or cookies, something. Not, I don't love to give away a lot of stuff, but something for your tour. My photographer will be there, and then I get to see you at the way on the way out. So it's the same touch points ahead, the same conversations during, and then the same follow up after.
And so what you're saying, you're creating a template for your events. So you're making it easy on yourself, but you're also giving value to your people. If you make your events too hard, you won't do them consistently. Okay? That's another key point I think that I just wanted to point out.
Absolutely. If it's hard to repeat, if it gives you like total anxiety, it's hard to do it. That's why I stopped with the first event. It was, oh, the stomach aches I had overdoing that. So I switched. This is great. Um, and then I know a lot of agents do this sort of coffee on me, and I pick strategic times to do it. I did it in September, one of the days of the first week. Yeah, the first week of school. Everybody starts school around the same time here. And even if you don't still have kids at home, it was fun. Actually, a lot of the people who responded no longer had kids at home or in school, but were super excited to go get a coffee. Um, I have an SOP for this as well. It's very simple. You buy a digital gift card to Starbucks, Dunkin's, whatever your coffee shop is. You send it out in an email or a text, and you send just the barcode. so that when they go to get the coffee, you just scan it on your phone. I know some concerns about it are, well, what if somebody goes in and spends like $45 and buys for everybody? All right, well, then you're out $45, but somebody knew that you did this. And $45 for a piece of marketing, that's not a lot. So I do put a limit on it. I think I had maybe 100 or 150. And if it had gone down too fast, I probably would have added more money to it. But it took, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days. And then we got down to zero. So the touch points on this as well certainly goes out in an email. I did put it on social media, which a little bit risky if there are people out there who are not in your geographic location, but they want a free coffee. I felt like that risk was worth the reward. It's $3 for a cup of coffee for somebody, and then they liked and shared and promoted my video. That's cool. And then it's a really simple, like, hey, thinking of you today. So if I were to, for this year, I'm looking at doing it a couple of times. I really wanted to do it around the holidays, like when everybody's busy, like wrapping and shopping. I just was busy myself, so didn't do it. But I'll probably coincide this with maybe the first day of summer. We drink a lot of iced coffee in Boston.
Hey, can you tell everybody what SOP stands for?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a standard operating procedure. So I know I sound organized. I'm not the greatest at it. And so I have really created standard operating procedures, workflows, templates, and task lists to help keep me organized. Otherwise, I can't stay on top of all of this. And you probably could do this with anything, whether it's like wherever you can buy a digital gift card, you could do something like this. A fast food restaurant, coffee. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, but it's certainly repeatable. So to me, customer appreciation, it's not just the one thing. It's not the one event. It's not the one gift at closing. It's really this pattern of showing up during and after, and then long after, and feeling, and showing up in ways that are useful and thoughtful and consistent. So that was it on the events. I can pause there if there are other questions about the events. Otherwise, I'm going to shift a little to social media.
I just wanted to know quick at the Apple thing, what do you pay for?
So I pay for everything. I have other friends and colleagues who get sponsorships and have their lenders and attorneys and other partners sponsor part of it. I don't want it to be salesy. That's just not my style. So I think it costs me $35 a person for the apple bag, a cider donut, and like an apple cider. The garden tour, similar. I'm paying for the admission, which is somewhere between $15, I think, and $20 a person. So then how does this appreciation become the sphere of influence marketing? So as we talked a lot. Yes.
Allison.
Yes.
All right. So the whole story on that, it's $35 a person.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, this is all about, is this an expense or is this an investment? Most people look at this as an expense. I look at it as an investment because at the end of the day, when you say, how many people would you say come to your Apple event, right?
I mean, like maybe I had 45. I mean, it wasn't.
Okay. Let's say it's 100.
Yeah.
Okay. $35 a person, 100 people. I don't even know what that is. Is that $3,500 or $350 or whatever it is? So what's your average closing that you have there in Boston?
Oh, we're at like 1.5.
Okay. So 1.5 million. I know that Kathy's going to go, well, see, that's why she does it, because she makes 1.5 million on a sell. But even if it was you made $8,000 or $9,000 on a closing, what would you say out of those events? Because I tell you, there's not an event that I've ever done, ever, that I haven't gotten 3, 4, 5, 6 leads from that event, at that event, or before the event because of the marketing, or after the event because of the marketing. What would you say on that?
Oh, goodness. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but I will tell you in October, it was at least 3 that I know are coming to fruition. And then there are other conversations that started. And again, for my price point, that's worth it to me. I mean, what is the rule of thumb? Do you have a rule of thumb for what you should invest back in the marketing or the investment? I mean, isn't it like 10% of what you bring in?
I really don't have a rule of thumb other than you have to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is essential that you do this.
And
And yeah,
all
so
the marketing afterwards, all of the social posts and the shares and the people who like, "Oh, that was so much fun. Thank you so much." Like it became so I did a video after that, which was just like a collage video, but I screenshotted all of the follow-up thank you texts and emails I received from my clients, and that kept going. And people see that.
yeah, and that's where the word investment comes in. It is literally this is not an expense. It's not like paying the MLS.
Mhm.
It's not any of that. And I teach how you can get a lender to pay for these things for you, and not make it salesy by doing it. Because again, most of the people that I'm inviting to this event, guess what? The lender helped them buy a house,
That's true.
or the insurance guy that I use is insuring their home. So the thing is that Kathy, now I know I love you, but this is not an expense, okay? This is an investment. I want you to take that and take one closing and set it aside and use that as your investment into your real estate business, right? Any business we have to make an investment.
And
Sorry.
if you
I
do
know I'm all about investing. I'm just curious Apple place, honestly. I
yeah,
didn't know if you had to pay to get them in and then pay more for a bag of apples. I
so
was
it's more
just
expensive. Like that is expensive here. I mean, that is a lot for a little bag of apples, like 35 bucks. Like that
that's
is
what I was
those
wondering.
are expensive apples. But I look at it across all of it, the whole process of the 8 weeks of marketing and communication. That's how I look at it. And I guess if I had the same lender for the majority of people, I absolutely would invite them and let them offset some of the costs. But I don't. Everybody had a different lender. Everybody had a different service provider. So that's why it didn't work for me. Um, but a lot of other agents will get it sponsored. And then you don't have to do it so high cost. I mean, I've thought about, I mean, I'm not going to, but the other ideas that rumbled around my head were like, do it in my patio in my backyard. Invite everybody over, cook up some burgers and dogs, and have like a popcorn machine in a bouncy house. Like, that's not high cost. So that was one. Do it at a playground. And then what do we need? What do you need to get there? A playground, bring some basketballs, soccer balls, and maybe an ice cream truck, right? Like there are some other ways to do events like this low cost, gathering people in a spot, having quick conversations, and giving them an experience. All right. So, how does this become a sphere of influence marketing? So, I spent a lot of time. What was the client's experience like? Did they feel safe, comfortable, trusting, all of that? How did it feel? What do they then share with their people? Right. So that's part of it. What are the clients feeling, experiencing? What are they sharing? And then it sort of shifts a little bit to this fear marketing is that what are people observing? Meaning a lot of my sphere transactions are actually referrals from my sphere, right? They're not people who are necessarily getting every email I send or seeing on my social media. It's those people are then sending me their friends. So I spend a lot of time focusing on social media. I'm repeating, I love video. And the reason the video is so great is that they see you, right? Your vibe attracts your tribe, right? So they have already decided whether or not they like what I have to say. They like how I explain things and they think I might be somebody they can work with. Um, and so the videos, if you follow me on social media, you'll see I do have a mix of professional videos from my listings and some branding videos, but most of them are off the cuff, me just standing there talking. Um, so for example, I'm going to do one later today and I'm going to talk about I'm going to talk about Zillow. I'm going to talk about Zillow, love hate relate. Well, I did that one already, but talk about why, excuse me for interrupting myself. I had a listing appointment. Somebody asked me, "Well, why do I need you? Everybody just looks on Zillow anyway." And so the answer, right? We want to present it in a way that's going to bring the buyers through your door. So it's not just taking, iPhone pictures, it's the presentation. And so I'm going to talk about that today in my own words in like 30 seconds. And that's how they can see and get to know me. So I'm telling the stories. I then will break that down into a carousel. So maybe the carousel that I'll create from that will talk about How do I help a seller get their house show ready so that it looks great online to get the buyers through your door? So that's where I might take a little bit more time and have some text on there that talks about the staging, the preparation, the cleaning, the photos. And people can just swipe through and read it at their own pace, even if they don't watch a whole video. The blogs are going to go deeper, be more in depth on the subject, and that's going to live on my website. And then it might go out in a newsletter. And so that just sits there sort of as an SEO optimization to try to pull people into my website if they're searching those terms. And then the other stories and posts, that's just me being present, um, showing what my life is like, and trying to connect with people on social media. I think it was Jimmy who said that social media is the new CRM. It's how we feel connected. So I have a couple examples. I don't need to show them all, but like I did one here that was what I don't care about as your listing agent. That got a lot of traction because I straight out said to people, I don't care if your house is messy when I first come over. I don't care if you disagree with your spouse, because let's be honest, we act like therapists half the time. I don't care about if you're not ready. You want to talk today, but you're not ready for 2 years. That's cool. So I put that out there, and so people could hear how I'm going to react. The holiday one, that was fun too, because that's my house. People really like to see inside your house. They want to know what's going on. And I don't know about you guys, but I know when somebody's ready to buy a house if they tell me where they're going to put their Christmas tree. So I did that. And then the third one was also somewhat personal. I bought an investment property last year. So I've done a whole series about the process of purchasing for me. Why did I do it? Why do I believe in real estate? And I've gotten several people actually from those posts who are now looking for beach houses. And so I'm going to just wrap up here. I think I have 2 more slides, but really this is a compounding effect. It's a marathon, not a sprint, right? All of this, the social media, the newsletters, the client appreciation, it's them seeing you over time. It's being consistent. For me, the systems reduce my mental load so I can just repeat, repeat, repeat. Being present, sending the emails, posting on social, it builds that trust, and the trust drives those referrals. So I don't go out and ask for them. They just come to me, and it feels great. So my advice is to do the basics well, systemize them, and really stay visible. If you want a copy of these, feel free to take a picture or whatever you do with the QR code there, and you should be able to download them.
And I'm going to put your presentation in with the video as well, underneath the video.
Right.
So I just want to recap this, okay, which I think are some major points that you should have gotten from this. Okay. Number one, she said video 26 times. Okay. So that's number one, as far as how you're doing this. She's mentioned consistency and the compound effect, right? If you guys have not gotten the book, and I've shot videos on the compound effect, atomic habits, the butterfly effect, which is all being in play what she's talking about here right now. Meaning the compound effect is doing little things that don't move the needle, but done consistently create what she did in 2026, right? And the one thing that I noticed from her presentation is she's not doing anything that makes her feel icky, or she's not doing anything that makes her feel uncomfortable, right? Now, that being said, video makes people feel icky and makes some people feel uncomfortable. But Allison, I'm almost probably going to get this right and the nail on the head. You probably did not feel good or comfortable on video in the beginning. And Dale, you're an expert on this as well. You can speak to this as well. Is that when nobody ever feels comfortable on it. And so that's key. And then I want a commitment, Allison, from you that you're going to come back and teach
Sure.
on social media.
Okay.
I've been searching for a social media person because I know that everybody loves social media and the carousels and being able to do that. But I will almost guess that you did not spontaneously come up with the ideas. You came up with the ideas and then you had to plan them out just like you did your events. Everything has to be planned out. But it all boils back to the one thing that I teach in the production program, and that's a schedule, right?
Oh, absolutely. It literally is in my calendar. So this week I'm a little bit delayed because we had a Monday holiday, but almost every Tuesday I have a video. Every Tuesday at 5-ish, it gets posted. And sometimes I'm doing that video at 4:55. This week was a little bit different. So I'm meeting somebody later today, and it's my manager, and he just holds the camera while I talk. If he's not available, it's my husband or my kids, or a friend. So it's scheduled every Sunday morning. I have an email that a reminder that says post on Google. I have Mondays tell me to write my blog post. It yeah, schedule it.
And do you find that when you started this, you may have had a few things of content, right? Content's always the thing that drives it.
Yeah.
And then as you started to do it, you started to get inspired by
Yes.
living your life, and ideas came up to you.
100%. And if I don't have an idea, I don't do it. That's the other thing. I'm not gonna force something that's not authentic, and that's why if you look back, it's almost every Tuesday, and some Tuesdays, well, today the idea didn't come, but it will tomorrow. But I make sure it's done that week. So, in the beginning, it was hard to get ideas. If you use ChatGPT as, ask it for ideas, answer the public. What are people asking? What was the conversation you had with somebody yesterday? Maybe it was, I don't know, I'm thinking about maybe I wanna have a beach house, or I wanna do this, or I wanna do that, and I just don't know where to get started. Well, there's a video. There's a carousel. There's a blog post. So it's and a lot of them are a repetition. I have a list somewhere. If you wanna get started, I have a list I can share with you, or if I come back and talk about social media. Um, it's the
And
things that
I'm going to tell you here's the challenge of this whole thing, okay? Is that they're going to see you at say year 5 in doing video. How long have you been doing video?
yeah, since, 19. So, yeah,
Okay. So the challenge is that anybody here who's not doing video, who sees you now,
right.
they compare that to themselves and they say, "Oh my gosh, I could never be that good." Well, go back 5 years ago. Have you ever gone back, Dale, unmute yourself. Have you ever gone back 5 years ago? We talked about this on a video. Dale, I shot a video with Dale not too long ago. But when you go back 4 or 5 years and look at your old videos, aren't you cringing?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like the most introverted person in the world, and, I mean, I know when I met you, Gary, like 20 years ago, I was a brand new agent. Anyways, yeah, it just over time, it gets to the point where it's like you almost don't even recognize yourself. It's like when I actually watch my own videos, I actually do think that I sound like I sound. You know, most people say I don't sound like I think I sound. We actually start to do realize that you sound the way you look on camera. And it's really cool. So I would just say, yeah, you just got to get through it. It's just like anything. And it gets easier and easier and easier the more you do it. And it boosts your confidence. I can't even describe, when you're out and about, you're more likely to talk to people and strangers. And the craziest thing ever, this is kind of related, but not. Just to give you an example, like I was at the gym the other day and someone came up to me and said, "Hey, aren't you a real estate agent?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Hey, I've been watching your videos on YouTube. And me and my husband, we moved here, we're renting." And it was just like, it's just really crazy how people just like the authenticity. So I would say, don't worry about it.
And how long have you been doing video?
Consistently since 2022, so
Okay.
about 3
And
years.
just so you guys know, that subscribe sign that's up behind him is supposed to be flickering like that. It's actually not. It's like
No, you're 100% right. The first one's super cringy. I mean, at that point in time, if I embarrassed my kids by posting, I felt like I'd done something right, okay? They're still embarrassed by me, like, but, and what but Dale, you're absolutely right. When I got a text the other day from somebody that said, "Oh, your ads are great." I'm thinking, "Ads? Like, what ads? I don't think I run ads. Maybe I do." He saw something on YouTube that he thought was an ad, and, like, he thought I did all this production, like, not at all. So, I don't know. I know it's hard, but it's what we look like, what we sound like.
Yeah. It's just, hey, Dale, do you promise to come on here and teach a little bit about video?
Yeah, I think that would be fun.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. Okay. Well, does anybody else have any additional questions? Lucy, Kathy, let's see who else we have on here. Lily and Joe, do you guys have any questions at all?
Hi, Allison. Can you tell me more about the coffee party? So, do you put like dedicated people in a corner, and how long normally run? And do you when you invite them, do you ask them come by themselves or bring a friend? Just tell me more on that.
Sure. So this is for the coffee gift card?
Yeah.
Okay. No, so I do have friends in the area that will go sit at the coffee shop and say, "I'll be here and come say hi." I don't do that. I have people all over. So instead I send a gift card in an email that has the barcode in it that no matter what, and I pick a chain, Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, that they can just walk in and do it. Um, I don't necessarily know who's buying it at the time, but I'll often get a text with a like, their coffee and a thumbs up or something like that. Ideally they'd post on social media and say thank you for the coffee. I don't push that. But that would then be sort of the next level, is to get other people to see what you're doing.
Yeah,
But
that's
if you do
actually a fair trade. A coffee, your fair trade is take a picture with your cup of coffee and post it and tag me. That's a fair trade. So,
so when you send out the gift card, how much you send out at the beginning?
I don't have a sample ready to put up on the screen. I'm sorry about that. But basically, I load up a digital gift card with $100. And when it's done, it's done.
so what she's saying, Lucy, is that the link that she has is linked to a card that has a dollar amount. So theoretically, if somebody was greedy, they could go out and use all $100 of that, but you're promoting that you're giving them a cup of coffee, so they'll go buy a cup of coffee with it. She had kind of explained that earlier, that if somebody spends $45, then it cost me $45, but you're not going to go put $1,000 on this card. You're going to put a minimal amount, but that link goes to the same card, right? Is that right, Allison?
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen again, and I will just show you this one. Share. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
So that is the email that I send out. I just lost it. There it is. So this is the email that I send out. So I made a quick little design in Canva. Underneath it is the Dunkin' gift card. Lesson learned, do not include the PIN. Somebody mistakenly put that on their app and it was a thing, but it worked out. So don't include the PIN, but include the QR code or barcode. The gift card number is fine. And then my little message. I love the back to school season.
And so if somebody wants to set this type of thing up, where do they go? Is Dunkin' Donuts have this, like you have to open up an account with Dunkin' Donuts, open up an account with Starbucks, and then they give you the QR code for it?
I already have, like, I use the apps anyway, so I have an account. You literally just buy a digital gift card. I bought the digital gift card. I put myself and I probably used, instead of my work email, a personal email address so that I could then transfer it. But you just buy a digital gift card with your name, your email address. I'm sure it came looking bigger than this, and I just cut it down so it only included the QR code. Like next time I'm leaving off the don't include what I'm highlighting here. Don't include the gift card number and the PIN, just the QR code.
Okay, can you guys see this? So I just went, all I did was I Googled digital gift card Starbucks, and you could probably do the same thing for probably Dunkin' Donuts. I would do we have a couple local ones here, but I would do a national one because then more people can use it. But again, there's Dunkin' Donuts. If you actually go to Dunkin' Donuts here, gift cards. And I'm sure you have to sign in. So you have to create an account there. And then it's going to give you a QR code. Like any normal, just human that's not in real estate could actually do this and share it with their kids or whatever, right? So I would never share it with my kids, but That's a great idea. That's an amazing idea for anything. You can use that for anything. You can do for the coldest day of the year, the hottest day of the year. Go get yourself a cold cup of coffee. Whatever it is, there's just so many ways that you can use something like this. Lily, you look like you're ready to say something.
I have something to say. No, I have a question. Well, so I do this typically for my clients for their birthdays, right? So I'll send them a text because I have my own Starbucks card, and I was like, "Hey, coffee on me for your birthday. Happy birthday."
Mhm.
I guess my question to you is I use multiple different cards only because making sure that the money stays on there, right? Like that if so I'm curious, like if you're only using one QR code, how do you ensure that there's enough money for everybody to be on there? Are you auto reloading? Are you like I said, I'm using multiples so that
Yeah.
way if
So it's one card, and you can auto reload it.
okay,
And I
you
put in
are
the
auto reloading.
$100, and you can just add more if you want to.
You get an alert if it gets auto reloaded, right? A text message. Yeah.
You
Mhm.
do, right? I to the point of people overusing it, I guess that was my question, like,
Yeah,
that's why I've been using multiple cards because if it gets abused, then at least I can nix that card and use something else, but
exactly. And that's why I started with $100. And if somebody spent a little bit more, like, all right, well, that was a
right.
bummer, but
How long have you been doing it with Allison?
the coffee?
Yeah.
Oh, just a couple of years, not long. Last year, the year
Okay.
before.
Well, long enough
Yeah.
to where do you have any examples of somebody abusing it?
So Alison, how long do you do the event at the coffee shop?
Until the money runs out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, until
So
the
she
money
goes broke, Lucy.
runs out. So it wasn't very long. No, I haven't had anybody abuse it. The first time I did it, like I said, don't put the pin on there. Somebody by mistake downloaded the whole thing to their card. But it didn't matter because it was still running down the 100. So she was so cute. She would check in with me once every 2 days or so and say, "Okay, you're at $50, you're at 45, you're at 25." And like when it was done, and she deleted it from her account. But she could keep track, and it wasn't a big deal. She wasn't abusing it. She just goofed.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Lucy, did she answer your question? You look like you're dressed to
Alison, I
go
have
to
another
a
question.
bonus.
When you mentioned you write a blog,
Yes.
so later on you put on your website.
Mhm.
When you write a blog, you use your website to write a blog, or you use a special blog website to write a blog.
I will confess I use ChatGPT.
Okay.
Well, are you talking about hosting your blog? Or are
Yeah.
you talking
Oh,
about, yeah.
on my website.
Okay. Okay.
It's, if my website was on that contact page, you go to it, click on blog, you'll see so there's a little bit of effort. I have to come up with a topic, which usually isn't too it's something that happened or come up. I do have to create, a cover photo. So I go to Canva for that. And all of these things you can outsource. If you have an assistant or a marketing person, they can do that. I tend to do it all on my own because I have a system. But
Yeah.
that's the only other effort there is the photo.
Well, any time it ever comes to marketing, the challenge with real estate agents is creativity. And honestly, as a coach and a trainer, I would rather see you out door knocking and making phone calls and making money and hiring people to do this for you. Unless, okay, there's a caveat to it, you have that creativity. Okay. My wife, school teacher, English major, very creative, she has the creativity, but guess what? She closed 62 transactions last year. Guess what she lacks? Time. Doesn't have the time to do it. And so I think the amount that you again, and just remember that Allison's blog and her carousel are minor consistencies in her full marketing plan. Okay. So it's not the marketing plan, it's little things that are in it. Okay. So, yeah, it is definitely amazing. You, Allison, I'm going to tell you, you did even better than when you were on Jimmy's show. It's probably because you were on my show.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
let me just talk the blog for one moment. The blog for me, it's purely it's if your wife's an English teacher, apologies. I am not a writer. I don't want to write. I was a math teacher, not English. It is purely for SEO right? I want certain keywords. I want my hometown of Needham in there throughout so people can find me, and I want content to put it in a newsletter. It does. If it takes you like more than 30 minutes, outsource it. Don't waste your time on it. Let somebody else do it. But for me, that's the purpose. It's purely to be searchable and found, and then have something of value to send out.
And from the consistency of your blog posts, how often do you do it?
Once a week.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you basically have 52 different blogs. And
Mhm.
so is it an inspired blog post each week, or do you kind of sit down and plan, like, this is my first quarter of blog posts?
So ideally, I would sit down and plan, and I always start the year saying I'm going to do that, and then I don't. So, I don't have time. So for this, and sometimes it's also seller success, buyer or seller success stories. So that's the other thing I use the blog for, is to tell those success stories that I can then push out on LinkedIn, push out in my newsletter. But most of the themes are just something that I want SEO, like, I don't know, how to get ready for the spring real estate market. Well, that's easy. Ask GPT, and it'll just.
How often, for our audience here,
Mhm.
how often are you on Chat GPT?
Like every day. That,
Mhm.
I tell you, I have a whole set of slides for that too.
Yeah. I'm
Every
on it, yes, and I probably use it once an hour, okay?
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, it's a great tool. And here's the thing, in the beginning, people said AI was going to take over certain segments, and it has. Legitimately, it has.
Mhm.
Copywriters, I'm going to tell you what, most copywriters, they're non-existent anymore, because you can, Chat GPT is your copywriter. But from that standpoint, it makes you better
Yeah.
as a real estate agent. Because what did they say? They said, they were worried that they were going to lose it, people understand, but they said that it was actually going to make people who use AI better at what they do, whatever they do,
Mhm.
better at what they do by utilizing AI, right? And AI, Chat GPT is in everything, right? AI is in everything. You go to Canva, and Canva has their segment of Chat GPT. So I've literally trained Chat GPT on what I say, what I do through my video and through my content and everything. So if you were to go to my Chat GPT and ask it a question, it's gonna be as if the way I would answer that question based off of what Chat GPT knows about me. It's crazy, right? So, but anyhow, all right. So we are a little over an hour.
Has a question.
Allison, I want to respect your time. Does anybody? It looks like Kathy's got another question.
Yeah.
Kathy, what do you got?
Yeah. On your on your blogs, can you tell when people read them or how often?
So I don't have my Google Analytics set up properly. It's just something that lives on my list of things to do. So a way to get around that is if you use Bitly and do a short link. And
If you what?
are you familiar with Bitly? Okay. So there are other ways to track traffic to your website if you don't have Google Analytics set up. So yeah,
I
so
was just curious. You do all that work if you
great
use
question.
any good.
So, and that's why I don't put a whole lot of creative effort into it, because I really see it as a means to an end. I'm
How do
not
you promote it, Allison? How do you promote your blog?
so I choose 2 articles to put in my monthly newsletter. And like I said, right now, if you were to go there and look, it's mostly seller focused, downsizing focused, and success stories. I really
And how do
want
you send that out?
email through my CRM.
Okay. So the way that she could find out theoretically how many people went there was her open rate on email. And just about every CRM has that open rate, right? I mean, I've got a blog myself. It's more of a vlog. But the thing is that again, you don't I wouldn't worry about those analytics, because it's really not going to tell you anything. Okay. It's really not going to tell you anything. And from that, it's just, again, it's another piece of that overall consistent marketing program that she's talking about. So,
I stuff it with keywords and location words. That's the
yeah.
purpose of me. Go ahead.
I'm just curious because you do all that work for that, and then like I see social posts on Facebook and whatever, and everybody that comments is like realtors. I just feel like it's a lot of work. I
Yeah.
don't know how much you get out of it.
So a lot of, I mean, I've been doing a bunch of these. So lately, a lot of my connections on social media are realtors. And that is something that I have been giving some thought to. But to me, okay, so now I've got some referral partners. I mean, I have no interest in being an influencer, a million views. That's not who I am. But the people who are commenting, yeah, they're other agents, but the people who are also seeing it are my people because they tell me in the supermarket. They may not comment or like it, but they're seeing it.
And the
Okay, that's what I was
blog
curious
itself, Kathy, is more of a landing page for her newsletter for more content. She has this, click on that, it's here. So that's really all it is. Okay. And at the end of the day, it's like I have a YouTube page, but I'm not looking at it to become an influencer. It's just a place to house my videos to send them to my audience. Okay. And that's where they
Mhm.
watch it. And that's, again, I'm not going to go to, www video here because nobody goes there, but they go to YouTube. Okay.
Mhm.
Does that make sense, Kathy? Does that help you?
Yeah, I just feel like most people are so overwhelmed with all the crap they can watch everywhere.
But
So I
it's
guess
not most people. Just so you know, it's Allison's people.
mhm,
People love Allison. People love Kathy. And if you're sending it to that audience, your audience, they'll look at it. Not all the time, but a lot of the times.
mhm,
Okay? That's the thing you have to look at. You're not marketing to everybody, because if you market to everybody, you're marketing to nobody. You're marketing to your audience. If I shoot a video, I don't look at a million views. Now, Dale does a little bit different because he wants everybody to go to Bellingham. So his is a Bellingham site. But Allison, and Allison, you correct me if I'm wrong, because I think you and I are on the same page on this, is that when you market, you're marketing it to your sphere of influence.
Mhm.
That's the reason why you have to have their email so she can send the newsletter. She
Yeah.
has a phone number so she can text and call them, right? She has a mailing address so she can send them whatever she needs to send them. So the thing is that it's just that audience, but then that audience, guess what they're going to do? And I'll guarantee you Allison's audience does this, is they will take that content and share it with somebody thinking about buying or selling. So don't worry about other real estate agents. Don't
And
worry about all this other stuff.
it doesn't
So
have to be weekly. The way my brain works is that I think whatever my theme is for this week, it's just easier to create all the different content on one theme than come up with 6 different ideas in a week.
yeah.
That's really what it is. So if this week is a seller success story, then you'll notice the video, the carousel, the blog post, it's all the same. It's just different ways of getting the information out there and using other tools to help make it generate it quickly is what I do. I mean, we're selling houses. We're not content creators. But we have to do some of that stuff to get the message out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think,
All right,
what
thank you.
Dale said earlier, Dale said, hey, I walked in the grocery store and somebody noticed me that I was in, that's what video does for your audience. You become famous to your audience. The only way that I can explain this is if you think of your favorite show you like to watch. Mine used to be Friends, okay? And Joey was my guy. I loved Joey. How did I ever fall in love with Joey? I don't care about Joey, the real Joey. I care about Joey who's in Friends. And so if I ran into him at the grocery store, I'd go, that's Joey. I need a signature from Joey. That's how you become famous to your audience, is through video. And I'm telling you, I'll guarantee you that's what Allison is accomplishing right now, is they fall in love with her and they want it. She said it. They want to see you in your kitchen. They want to see you in those things, because your social media, your email, actually, let's just look at Facebook. That's your reality page. That's your reality show. You're either there or you're not. Okay. And I'll tell you, you go out and Google, I can Google each one of your names right now. And I'll tell you right now, the number one place that you're found is either your real estate website, because of the power of the company that you're with, not because of you. And number two would be your Facebook page, because that's where you give it the most content. even if it's not a lot of content, but you give it a little bit. And it might be Instagram, depending upon which social media site you're on. But I'll tell you, it is a way to communicate. Allison said it earlier. I wrote it down, is that social media is a CRM.
Yeah.
And so not everybody on your social media site is in your actual CRM that you're mailing, but they're seeing your information. So anyhow, we could talk about this all day.
But I'll
So
tell you,
Allison,
the
thank
transactions
you.
I'm showing now, the transactions, they were all from people who are either in my CRM or saw me in social media and sent me to somebody else. And those are the transactions I have. Now they're dumped in and now I'm connected, but I wasn't before.
Mhm. And we talked about earlier this week on Tuesday, we talked about my talk was, and I just shot a video on this, is how you get 3 additional transactions from the actual business you're working right now. So if you're in motion with a buyer buying or in motion with a seller selling, you know how it is, Kathy. What do? You ask that magic question at the appointment. And then I'm telling you, Allison just proved my point that she has these touch points of within a transaction. And I talked about the 5 touch points within a transaction. And Allison, the only thing different that we're going to do, which I think you would be interested in, is we're going to make those touch points video
Great.
versus an email that goes out. Just the text. It's going to be now a video. And again, if you let somebody know in the beginning, hey, if you knew somebody thinking about buying or selling, doing what you're doing right now, would you feel comfortable introducing them to me? I never want to assume that you're going to do that. But if I ask that question at the consult with a buyer and at the consult with a seller, you increase the odds that when they go out and puke on everybody else that they're going to run into when they say, hey, what you doing? What's going on with you? Hey, what happened to you this week? Oh my God, we sat down with our realtor and we're buying a house. Oh my God, we just wrote a contract on a house. Oh my God, we're thinking about buying a house too, but we're just not ready yet. Oh my God, you should talk to my real estate agent. So that's the whole point, is top of mindness. And that's what everything, Allison, if I had to sum it up in one thing, you're creating top of mindness of Allison Belli in Boston as a real estate agent through every little touch point you have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
And
goal.
here's the good news, Allison. Everybody you know is going to run into somebody in the next 365 days thinking about buying or selling, knowing somebody. And the only question is, when they do, Kathy, are they going to think of you? So, or Allison, right? Because it's her audience. All right. Thank you, Allison, so much. And thank you, everybody, for being on. I appreciate it. Allison, once again, thank you for pouring into all of us and leading by example. What you're doing, staying connected, staying human, staying consistent, is exactly what most agents overlook. And it's why your business is growing the way it is. To everyone watching, take note of this. It's not the big dramatic moves that build a real estate business. It's the daily touches, the authentic videos, the handwritten notes, the thoughtful events, and the willingness to use tools like ChatGPT to stay intentional. If you model these habits, your sphere will grow, your referrals will multiply, and your business will compound year after year. Keep going, keep showing up, and keep building those relationships that matter. See you in the next video.